Hello, people. Derby Day. Derby della Madonnina, Derby number 200 and I think 30, if I'm not mistaken. Um, this is Inter versus Milan. This is, I think, one of the biggest derbies in the last 5 years for us, for Inter as well. This absolutely is something that we've been all looking forward to. This is Inter. Inter can beat Milan today. We're an Inter worldwide channel, but we welcome every Serie A fan. I'm here with my good friend. We all know this guy, Perisnitch from Twitter, the guy that gives us all the info, the guy that gives us the great comms, the guy that gives us a lot of memes and stuff and everything after the game. Hello, my friend. How are you today, and how are you feeling about this derby?
Hello, what an introduction. Thank you very much. I just want to start with since it's no longer afternoon for me, I'm just going to say hello to the champions of Italy. I'm feeling really pumped for this game. Really pumped.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of hard to predict. A lot of people are feeling anxious about this game. We can see it on Twitter, we can see it everywhere. However, all I want to say is that we are in good condition. We are actually, I think we come here as a favorites. What do you think? Are we the favorites today, or because why people are anxious then?
Uh, that's the thing. I don't feel anxious because even if you lose, we're still top of the table by a good margin, assuming we win against Bologna. Uh, come in as favorites, but we also should remember that our schedule from this match onwards is going to be really, really tough.
Yeah. So lines up are up, and we're about to add them. So here we go, guys. I hope that you can see my screen. I know it's small, but we are as expected, right? First snatch. Here we go. Tell me, where are this game gonna be won? Where are the key battles in this game? Where do we see Inter winning, and where do we see Inter maybe struggling a little bit?
Well,
Assuming that everybody will stay good in the game and they play at their potential.
so first thing, the good news is we are going with our full strength squad, like a start 11. So that's great. But I think our right side and Milan's left side is going to be the key of this game because Milan is really, really good at attacking from the left because they have Leao and Theo Hernandez. But defensively, we have to capitalize on the fact that they're going to push forward from that side. And I think that's the key that our right side and their left.
Yes. I think someone just told me that my mic is not actually connected. I think my mic is not. Yes, I think that something is wrong with my mic. I don't know what it is. Can you hear me well? I just hope
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no issues from me.
Oh yeah, it's. Let me try to check. Something is actually not right at all. The microphone. Yes. Now my microphone is better. I hope that everybody now can hear me well. This is. I think this is good.
Oh, I hear the
So
change now. Yeah.
yeah, you hear the difference now. This
Yeah,
is
for sure.
yeah. So Inter Milan. This is. Do you think Milan, if they lose this game, they are out of this title right
They have to
away,
be,
or
right?
do you think there is a comeback for them?
We are in February. If they lose, they're minus 10, and they still have some big games to play as well, and they're never going to win every single game from this match onwards. So if they lose, I think it's fair to say they're out of the title race.
Yeah. So us, did you prefer Dumfries over a Darmian in this game, or you're happy with Dumfries, or what did you like to see? Because for my opinion, I think Dumfries is very suited for this game. To be honest, better than Darmian on the right. He has the good form now. What about you? What did you prefer? Would you have started Darmian over Dumfries?
Well, Dumfries doesn't deserve to be benched, but like I mentioned before, Milan's left side, Leao and Theo Hernandez, they're a danger. They're big danger going forward. So I wouldn't have complained even if he played Damian because that brings more solidity to the right. And Damian played a pretty really good game the first time round as well. So yeah, I still go with Dumfries anyway because his form this since the start of the year has been really 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 good.
So yeah, for me, I would still start at Dumfries, to be honest, just because of
Hmm.
the strength, the physicality, and all the stuff. How about like the starting lineup up top? Like,
is that your favorite? Zeko and Lautaro are that like? Would you have started? I know Alexis just came back from the, but also Lautaro. They both came back from the South American qualifiers for the World Cup. So is that your preferred starting lineup up top, or would you have
Uh,
rather seen Alexis?
I would have liked to see Alexis because his form this year has been on a completely different level, but he just arrived like later than Lautaro as well, so it makes sense that Lauti starts. Uh, I hope like he does has an impact off the bench if it comes like if we need an impact off the bench. I hope Sanchez makes a cameo because he's the only remaining striker on the bench today. Apparently, Caicedo is not feeling fine or anything, so it's not even on the subs. So yeah, there's that.
I'm gonna go through some comments like, "Hey, they're very happy. People are happy to see you." Here is Chanel is what an honor, Perisnitch
My
and
pleasure, my
Sharma. You
pleasure.
know, Nash the goat. So people are happy to hear your voice. People are happy to hear your voice, and we're happy to have you here, guys. If you're here, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, share it on your social. We're always trying to create content. We have a great match reaction coming after the game, and we're hoping that Inter will win the game, so we'll have a happy match reaction instead of just us criticizing the players every time they lose, like we do always. Uh, Snatch, let me just ask you something. What
Mm-hmm.
are we thinking? What are we thinking about Napoli? If we lose this game, are they coming closer? I don't want to jinx it, but are Napoli still the main contender for Inter, or is it Milan, or do you see Juventus making a comeback? I know it's a 14 points. That's if we win the game in hand. But how do you see this playing out, especially that we play Napoli away, I think right after before Liverpool or something. So how do you see Napoli or Milan? What do you see is happening? What's the dynamic here?
Okay, so yeah, that's a really good question because if you win today, it doesn't really change anything for Napoli. They still will try to fight for the title, but it's hard to say, because it's an interesting table. We can't really run away with it from next week. If we win both games against Milan and Napoli, who's going to catch us? Nobody. But if you lose both games, everything changes. But it's not that bad. Even if we lose, we will still be in the title race. If Milan and Napoli lose, they probably at least one of them will be out of the title race by the end of next week. So it's hard to say because Spalletti, we know Spalletti really well, and he always has that January February breakdown, and I'm counting on it, but I wouldn't be too stressed. And Juventus, come on, it's like they're too far behind unless some
They
disaster
just added
happens.
Vlahovic, my friend. They just added Vlahovic, Dennis Zakaria. These are good players. They can make things happen. I think that they're gonna make Champions League. I don't think they're gonna challenge for the
Sure,
title, and
yeah.
I think you agree with me, right?
Yeah, but more than us, it's Milan and Napoli who have to worry about Juventus, in my opinion, because they are the ones who are getting threatened right now.
As an Inter fan, I always worry about Juventus. That's the problem. You know how it is, right?
It's been years,
We
to be fair.
always worry about Juventus. I'm gonna go through like a couple of comments.
Mm-hmm.
Someone, I hope Hakan will score from a
Oh,
long distance. Yeah, me too. This is what we're hoping for. I hope that
no, I,
Hakan gives us an open play goal.
I don't mind if it's three penalties as long as he scores today. I'm alright.
Guys, there is a link pinned in the chat. You can just call in, ask your question, be with us in the show. I want the fans to be with us in the show. Just click the link, it will take you. It's a simple thing. You don't have to be on camera. Just ask us questions and join us in the show. Here we have half an hour before the game. This is something that fills my heart with joy, to be honest. The match preview from Anthony Sharma's match preview, and then me and you here. I I'm so happy that people are just doing this for us, to be honest. Like we're trying to create the content for people. It's a derby weekend and we're all happy to be here. Other questions about Milan. Where do you see the danger coming from this Milan side? I'm gonna start. I'm gonna share this again. Where do you see this? Where do you see the danger coming from this Milan? Is it crosses? Are they the Liao, Teo Hernandez? Tell me about where are you scared?
Well, Leao has to be the danger man for this squad. And honestly, I feel like he's the only player that I'm worried about from the Milan squad. Yeah, his dribbling is really good. He's turned up this season, but I'm not sure about his goal scoring ability. Yeah, I'm not still convinced about him being that man yet. He might be today. He might cement himself as one of those guys, but I'm not too stressed about the attack. I'm not too stressed about their defense. I think their midfield is really solid. So I think we'll have to be worried about their midfield and focus more on the wings today if you want to have a chance.
Yeah. So we need to focus on the wings, and we have our strength, our strong center backs, Skriniar, Bastoni. These guys can stop Leao. These guys like Salamakers. Are you worried about Salamakers at all having the game of his life now to revive his career at Milan?
I'm worried that if we concede, we're going to give him a career. So I hope, just for the meme's sake, that he doesn't do anything today. That's all.
How about Giroud and De Vrij? That battle will be the battle of the two big guys in the middle. Do you think that De Vrij? We know that Giroud is a very dominant player on air, to be honest. And
Hmm.
this Milan team with the three midfielders, they can actually get the ball wide and cross. Do you think De Vrij can contain Giroud?
De Vrij has to contain Giroud, and my worry is like in the past few weeks, there. I'm sure you agree with me that he's been a little bit shaky, a little bit suspect. I don't think he's finished or anything, but we need De Vrij at the top of his game. But more than that, I think Bastoni and Skriniar will have a lot to do today.
Mhm.
That's what I think.
I hope that Bastoni and Skriniar will have the game of their life. The one that I want to have his game of his life today is Brozovic, because we play against their main
Hmm.
three strong midfielders, Ben Nasser, Tonali, and Frank Kessia, who is leaving at the end of the season. How do you feel like where is this game is going to be won in Inter? Is it the midfield? Is it the wide areas? Where is it going to be won?
That's a really good question. I can't pinpoint anyone who can win us the game by themselves. But the fact that they've put Kessie to man mark Brozovic in a game like this, it is a bit concerning. And I hope it all depends on how Brozovic does it. If he manages to control the game, I think we've got this on locks. But if Kessie cancels him out, it's going to be a long, long, long day.
So talking about Frank Kessia, since we are now playing the Milan, this is the Derby della Madonnina. Do
Hmm.
you like to see Kessia wearing black and blue next year, or you don't think that we need to add an 8 million euro wage to our bill? Like, is he worth that much money?
No, it's not 8 million. Like at the moment, I can't even see him starting for Inter. I don't know, but what do you think, Mo? Do you see Kessie like benching
Absolutely.
Rafa?
I would absolutely. So hear me
Yeah.
out. Imagine we're
Okay.
playing Liverpool and we have Kessia on our squad. How would you
Hmm.
feel? Would you feel better today about Barella being suspended for the two legs against Liverpool?
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. That's true. I mean, as a so once again, like you are talking about KCA being Barella's sub, so 8 million for a guy to be on the bench just in case to replace Barella. Like it doesn't make sense. It's just like having Vidal right now, who's like on 9 million apparently, and I'd rather not.
All I want to say about the Kessia thing,
Hmm.
having to play in three fronts, you can't have a sub and a
Yeah, that,
starter and stuff
that's
like
true.
this. It is kind of different, to be honest. Like, it's different than having, like, I know that when you play only the league, it is you need the starters, but now we are this is something that somebody can get injured. You don't know. You need depth, and you need quality depth. And I think Frank
A hundred
Kessia
percent. Yeah.
provides quality depth, in my opinion. It's better than Gagliardini, Vidals, and Vecino, and all these guys. I hope that next year we'll have Sensi back. I hope that
Mhm.
next year we'll have Kessia on our squad. And I will be happy with Gagliardini staying. At that point, I'll be absolutely happy if we have six midfielders, five quality players, and someone like Gagliardini. Would be okay with me, but having Vicino, Vidal, Gagliardini, I don't think this is acceptable for a team that is we're gonna win Scudetto, and the
Mhm.
team that we want to go far in the Champions League. If even if it doesn't happen this year, it will happen next year because we're gonna win it. We're gonna be higher on the rank, and I think we're gonna be top of the group next year. I'm ahead of myself, but
Yeah.
I see this squad can have some holes. The squad is
Mhm.
not as strong as we think.
A
11
hundred
players,
percent.
12, 13 players are good, but we need more depth.
100%. Like our midfield depth is pretty bad compared to our starting three. But my issue is with Casey is the fact that his wages are going to be insane, and he'll probably ask for a really really big agent fee as well. I'm not saying we shouldn't get a really good backup, but I'm saying we shouldn't be putting all our eggs on one player with high wages because then that will also cause more problems to anyone else who wants to renew their contracts as well. So next time maybe Barrel will ask like 10, 15 million because there's Kessie and he's not the best midfield in the league. It's Barella. So yeah, so it's just about having that balance. So I feel
Yeah.
like someone like Nandes, like I rate him really, really a lot, and I think he's a really good Barella sub. And someone like that, he'll probably not ask too much. He'll accept being on the bench. Unlike, I doubt Casey would like to be on the bench. Maybe like, and it's hard to say. Like, yeah, I agree with you. We need a really, really good bench if we want to fight on all fronts. But if we're not there yet, and so we should take it slowly as well now.
I know that finances are a big aspect of Inter, and I know that
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people like talk about the finances, but I agree with Hendrix here.
Yeah,
Kissia is not gonna be a bench player, but you don't
exactly.
have a bench player. Kissia is not gonna come and be a bench player. It's gonna be a rotation. Imagine this month, this coming month, we're playing every 3 days. We need rotation. It's not only
True.
about Barella being suspended, it's just about the rotation that happens in every big club, especially if you go further in the Coppa Italia, and if you go further in the Champions League, you will have months like this about 2 3 times a year, and then you will need bench players. Someone is saying, King Darian, oh, thank you so much for tuning in, King Darian. He's always here for us. He's taking Kessia will take 6 million and to enter. This 8 million is to get out of Milan. I think
6 million
I
is
agree
decent.
with
Yeah.
him. It might be just talk. It might be just talk, to be honest, unless someone from the Premier League comes for him. One more, Sammer. This is Sammer. I'm not sure if you know Sammer. He's our main guy in the Interworld One. This is Sammer
Hello.
behind the scenes. The most fire tweet is Perisnitch. I'm always stealing them for Interworld Wide.
Oh, that's him who's been replying to my tweets. Then he's saying that's gonna
This is
steal my tweet.
Sammer.
Yeah, I
Yes,
caught you
this
finally.
is Sammer. Finally, you meet Sammer. So, tell me about like, give me a little bit about Ben Tonali. Are you regretting not having Tonali in our team?
No, not at all. Like, come on, like if he's 2 years ago, if he spent the 35, 40 mil that they were asking for Tonali, we would have never got Hakimi. And Conte would have had to try to integrate Tonali into that team. And I'm 100% sure we would have never won the Scudetto without a Hakimi and instead trying to get a Tonali who was trying to have his say in Serie A. Because last season, Tonali was pretty bad. Like, let's be honest, he wasn't good. Like, he's really good now, but not at the cost of losing a Scudetto. That's just my opinion. But he's really good, and we should be worried about him today. So yeah,
To
I'm
be
saying,
honest with
yeah,
you, I actually thought that Tonali is not good enough, but
is
now
it? When?
Tonali is, no, not today. Like when he
Okay.
first joined, his first season was a stinker. If you
Yeah,
remember, it
exactly.
was really, really bad. But now I really wanted to see Tonali. The guy fights, the guy passes, and the guy gives you like this vibe of like someone who wants to be bigger, the one who wants to develop. He's not the kind of player that will just, this is his peak. I think he's
Mhm.
gonna go higher. I think he's gonna peak later. This is just something that we haven't seen yet. This guy going to his full potential, to be honest. In my opinion,
Mhm.
Tonali is one of the most promising players. However, I still prefer Fratesi to come to Inter
Yeah.
next year, to be honest, because
Mhm.
I think he's a more a dynamic player. He's a box to box midfielder, and I think he is a better footballer overall.
More than Tonali. That's interesting. The thing is, like right now, because we're linked to Fratesi and Skamaka, like I'll probably have to start tuning into Sassuolo and do some scouting. Like Beppe has left me no choice. I need to see how he looks like. And the thing is, would you have we have sacrificed getting Hakimi for Tonali 2 years ago if it meant getting the play that he's right now?
Absolutely not. Like
Yeah,
Hakimi is
exactly,
the one who made us the money, to be honest. Like
exactly.
Hakimi, we got Hakimi for 40, sold him for 70. It's a simple math. Nobody can argue that, to be honest. It was just a win situation for us. We won the Scudetto,
Mm-hmm.
and we sold the player for 30 million in one season. It's an absolute win. It's a masterclass for Marotta.
There you go.
There is
Exactly. If you got
no question about it. We would
because if
not
you got
have made that money from Tonali.
yeah, exactly. So if you got Tonali, we would have had to sell someone like Barella maybe for like 100 million or something instead of Hakimi. So like
Yeah.
in hindsight, I still think we did the right thing, just not focusing on Tonali and just getting Antonio Conte his man without. Like there's no point like looking back regretting like right now they're a really really solid team. Just improve the depth and you sorted.
Yeah, what about this comment, Dybala and or Zaniolo next season? I want to see I want to have your feelings about that.
I think everyone on Twitter knows my feelings about Dybala. Like I'm the biggest fan of Dybala, and the fact that he's left-footed and he plays as a second striker. I mean, come on, like that's perfect for our team. Granted, that probably means like one of who knows Sanchez or Correa. Like I don't think Correa will ever leave, but like Sanchez, he might have to leave to give Dybala that space. But I think it's a no-brainer for us. In terms of like name quality as well, it makes our club look a little more like marketable. What do you think? Like, I'm not a big fan of Zaniolo. I think he has too many ups and downs to be considered someone good. Dybala, on the other hand, has a really, really good track record. He's won titles. He's been the main man for winning titles.
My problem with Dybala is the attitude, the way he
Yeah.
plays the game, his body shape in the games. I feel like Dybala is someone that needs to be the focus of the team, and we
He's
have
making
too many
focus.
egos on the team. To be honest with you, Brozovic is a big ego on the team. I think even Lautaro likes to be the focus of the attack. The problem with Dybala is he always wants to be the guy. He wants to be the man,
But he
and
has a
this
track
Inter
record.
team is not that team. And Inzaghi
Mm.
doesn't have that, to be honest.
Sure, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, like, it's fair enough if you don't, like, if you worry about that, it's a valid thing to be worried about because we've seen egos in our team a few years ago, and that destroyed our team. The clashes
And
of
we
egos.
remember when Dybala played with Cristiano Ronaldo, they had one good season, and then Dybala faded away. The problem is it's Cristiano Ronaldo
Mm-hmm.
takes the focus of everybody else. But this is imagine this happening with Dybala at Inter after we give him all this money. It will be shame, to be honest with you. And this is gonna be his last big contract. The guy is not young anymore.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think will happen then to Dybala? Do you not? Do you genuinely not
I
think
think
he
he's
can go
gonna go
back?
to one of the Premier League teams, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, or he's gonna go to Spain. I think
Hmm.
so. He's gonna go to maybe Barcelona next year or something like this because he fits the La Liga style of play. But let's go back to talk about the derby. Let's go back to talk about Inter. Let's go back to talk about how do you predict the score? How do you think we're gonna have the ball? That's number one. I think we're gonna actually not have the ball all the time. I think
Hmm.
Milan are gonna try to press us. They're not gonna sit back. They're gonna try to prove that they are as good as Inter,
Hmm.
and this is something that is not worrying to me. However, if I had someone like Lukaku that can play counter attack,
Yeah.
I would be more comfortable like this. But I fear for our defense. I fear for our defense under pressure.
The thing is, they have to bring the game to us, right? Like if they don't win, they're jeopardizing their entire season. So they have to bring the game to us. And the thing is, like Dumfries right now is our Lukaku. He's our only pacey guy on the team. So yeah, it's. I think there's a lot on his shoulders as well. I think this is a game that Dumfries has to show what he can do. I don't know how Milan's going to approach this game at all. To be honest, like every single game, like they kind of change their lineup all the time. It's probably because of the injuries. But I legit have no idea how this is going to turn out to be. What kind of game it's going to turn out to be.
I agree with you. They don't have a style, right? Like you
Hmm.
never feel like Milan. Like it depends on the personnel instead
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
like all the big teams in the world. They just have a style. Like Napoli, it doesn't matter if anybody plays in the midfield or the
Hmm.
forward. It's the same style. It's the same style. Like I feel like us the same. Milan are the only team in this the top six that they don't have a style. It depends on who plays. If it's Leao, it's a different style. Than Ribic, it's a different. Giroud is different than Ibrahimovic,
For
right?
sure.
Like this is why I don't understand how this team is still in where they are, and that's credit to Pioli, to be honest.
100%, 100%. Like look at today, like KCA as the attacking midfielder. What kind of game is that? I have no idea. Like
Yeah,
they
you just
have
come to
options.
fight.
I hope not. Unless he gives us a penalty, then I'm not complaining.
Yeah. Uh, uh hey, the Netherlands is always here, man. He's thinking about Brozo versus Kessia. Do you think Brozo
Hmm.
can win this battle in the midfield?
I mean, he has to, and I think he can. I'd argue he's been the best midfielder in Serie A this season. Do you agree with me?
No question. Even better
Yeah,
than Barella. There is no
100%.
question that this guy has been one of the best registas actually in the world football
Yeah,
now. The
yeah,
problem is he plays for Serie A and he doesn't have a lot of eyes on him. And we are as English speaking channel or English speaking fans, we follow the English speak news, right? So this
hmm
is why maybe in Italy, the Italian news, They praise him very much. I like La Gazzetta and Calcio
Yeah.
Mercato and all these. They praise him a lot. I think this guy, we have to renew the contract. It's not done yet. It's
Yep.
not finished yet, I think, because everybody's gonna come to this guy and they're gonna offer him a lot of money. But I hope that he stays because he's the engine for us. To be honest with you, I feel like there is no one that can do that job that Brozovic does.
100%. Like I don't think like people talk about like Agume being the replacement. What Agume does, it's not the same as Brozovic. Like no player does what Brozovic does. And yeah, I hope like just yesterday I posted a tweet about Brozovic being like top three best players in Serie A in general, not just as a midfielder. It's like top three best players in Serie A for me. And he has to win the game today against Kessie. And if he does, I think we're in a good spot.
I think yes. I think if he can get out of the pressure, I think we're in really really good spot. Guys, if you're here, we have 40 people here. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, share it on your socials, and catch us after the game for the post-match reaction. Win or lose, we're here. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna even bash the players, or we're gonna just celebrate. Even though there is no time to bash or celebrate, we're playing Roma in 3 days, and then there is no time to do anything. And I hope that these guys play their best today and win today to get a little bit of a pressure off their shoulders when we play the next two games, when we play Liverpool as well in between the games with Napoli, and I think we play Venezia or something. I can't remember, to be honest. So last predictions,
Mm-hmm.
and also, do you see anybody coming on to change the game from us off the bench?
100%. We have like I'm relying a lot on Sanchez. I hope he's all right. He's going to be a massive change for us. But also the fact that we're playing Roma, Napoli in a few games, in a few days, we will need guys like probably Vidal, Gagliardini to come in, sub in with the right attitude because they will get subbed off today, no matter what the result is, and they need to make the change as well. They need to keep it up. What do you think?
I think the one that will bring something off the bench, to be honest, is Vidal.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm saying this, because of their physicality in the midfield. If we
Mm-hmm.
need to close this game down, it's going to be Vidal, one of the main guys to come. Because even though Vidal has lost his touch, has lost his physicality in terms of like getting to the goal, he has not lost any of his tackles. He
Yep.
has not lost any of his big physical presence in the midfield. And this is why I think having Vidal off the bench, especially if we're winning the game, is key to actually close the game and then go to the finish line. To be honest, Vidal propaganda. Let's go,
God
Sharma.
damn it, bro. Why did you mention Vidal?
You know why I want to mention Vidal as well? Because I think Vidal is going to start against Liverpool.
Yeah?
People say
Oh,
that
yeah.
Gagliardini is going to
Mhm.
start. I think Vidal is going to start against Liverpool, to be honest. Um, I think Barella is a big loss against Liverpool, but his head was not there, and I don't know what happened to him.
Two
But
games as well. He's missing both games.
yeah, and
Also,
we're not contesting it at all. So
I don't know. Oh, well. Hopefully, we keep the scoreline like, respectable. I'm not optimistic, as you can hear from me. Like, I don't sound very optimistic about the Liverpool game.
you're not optimistic about Liverpool
No.
game. We'll talk about it
Yeah.
later.
Yep.
But
Yep.
Liverpool are now not playing great. Mo Salah, my guy, I'm Egyptian. I hope he wins the
Yeah. Good
African
luck
Cup
to
of
him.
Nations.
Yep.
Yeah, and I hope that him and Mani go back tired and they they don't. But they have a lot of games coming as well. It's we have games, they have games. So we'll talk about the Liverpool game when it comes, right? We'll
Mm-hmm.
have a
Yep.
big thing for the Liverpool game, I think. However, today, I think is the day we bury Milan. I think it's the day we put Milan behind. I think it's the day we stop worrying about Milan in our back mirror. I think it's the day that Milan start focusing on something else, to be honest with you, and stop challenging us for the Scudetto. And we only worry about one team, which is Napoli. A lot of people are predicting Inter win. However, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter that are not predicting Inter to win, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, Inter should win today just because we're actually stronger. There is
Yeah.
no excuse for Inter. We have had a couple of players go to South America, but we have had a lot of players training for the past 2 weeks, and we're playing with our strongest 11. They have injuries, so there is no excuse for anybody today, to be honest, to bring their A game.
Quick question, Mo. What do you think happens with a draw? What does that mean for us?
It doesn't mean anything, to be honest with you. I still think it's okay to draw
A good
these games.
result?
Yeah, it's okay. It's
Hmm.
not a big deal. I think it's gonna be a big deal if we lose, not because we're gonna come close to Napoli, but because we're gonna give them a drive.
Yeah.
Even if we draw today, Milan are still gonna be third behind
Hmm.
Napoli. The problem is if we lose, we're giving them the fire to go
The
forward,
confidence,
and
yes.
this is something I'm worried about.
It depends on how we. If we lose, it depends on how we lose. But like, I'm taking a draw. If you told me like, would you take a draw right now? I'd say yes, because that doesn't really change anything for us. We're still in the same position. We are not threatened by Milan at the moment, so a draw is fine for me. But yeah, obviously, I
Yeah.
take a win.
We need to put away our chances. This is something that is the key in this game, to be honest with you. If we get chances,
We have
we
to
need to
take
just
them.
put them away. It's as simple
Mhm.
as that. But we have been guilty of this lately, to be honest, not putting this. Perisnitch, Uncle Sharma, Inter Worldwide, name a better trio, Jonathan Kuzmanovic and Osvaldo. I
Oof.
like you, Samir. Samir is funny. So the only thing I'm worried about is that we have won our last 3 games in extra time. That's fine. It's not a
Mhm.
big deal, to be honest with you. But
At least you're scoring, so that's good.
yes, at least we're scoring. So there's 10 minutes to the kickoff.
Mhm.
We gotta go because I know a lot of people will prepare their coffee. If you're gonna bring their beer, they're gonna bring their drink and sit in front of the game. Give me your final prediction for this game.
I'm gonna go with 2-1 to us. I hope so. What do you think?
I see it as a 3-1 for us, to
Oh,
be honest. I don't know how, but I see a 3 scoring 2. They won back, and then we hit on the counter with 1 at the end of the game. Maybe. I'm hoping. You know what? This derby days, you cannot
anything
expect
can
anything.
happen. Hmm.
Anything can happen. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And it was just a short, quick with one of my favorite guys on Twitter. Make sure to follow him on Twitter. It's
Thank you very
just if
much.
you type Perisnitch on Twitter, follow Inter Worldwide on Twitter, subscribe to our channel, like the video, and absolutely thank you everyone for being here. And there's 10 minutes to the game. Get ready for an Inter win, and get ready for us to put Milan in the back, and they won't see us again until the end of the season. Thank you so much, my friend, for being here. Any last words
Thank you very
before
much,
this
guys.
game?
Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Be sure to come back to this channel after the game, regardless of the scoreline. All right? Yeah, and that's it from me. See you guys soon.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Forza Inter, guys, and Forza Inter Worldwide.
Forza Inter.